Game number 727, Manna for our Malices by enkiv2. If you wanna check it out, it's at enkiv2.itch.io. The link is in chat. I believe it's some sort of a visual novel based on what I see in the screenshots. Oh wow. Okay, I need to go fix my mouse. Fixed it. Let's check this out. Oh, wow. Dronan, that sounds rough. Wow, there's some words going on in that music. Sorry to hear about those upsetting news. I'm not sure which game it is, but well, we can talk about it later, so we can like at least be informed and not accidentally start playing it. Okay, so what is this? What is this symbol? I've never seen something like this. I know these are just... Are these musical notes? Are they referring to musical notes? They're not written like musical notes. And there's this, what, snake on this pillar? And that's... And well, it's not the symbol for healing, which is like two snakes around a sword or something, I don't remember. Around a staff. This one doesn't look like that. Is that the Caduceus? Yeah, that's what I was thinking, but it's not. It doesn't look like this. Maybe they have different versions of that symbol? Yeah, I guess we'll find out once we start the game. Oh, is that French? What does it say? Rifna says they're not sure if it means anything. Something of life? Eclements of life? Can't make out the rest of the lettering. Looks like antiquated words. Oh, could be something ancient. Whoa. What? Okay, loud. Go away. Manna for our Malices. Okay. The outrageous is the reasonable if introduced politely. The outrageous is the reasonable if introduced politely. The power of politeness, I see. Okay. It's by Charles Fort. The Book of the Damned. Oh. Okay. This escalates really quickly. In the year 2012, in the town of Yomiyama, a series of deaths occurred. It's funny we're talking about 2012 because a couple of days ago, I finally had like a glass of whiskey that I was wanting to have for a while, and it's like a single malt scotch, and it's apparently it was shelved for 12 years, and it puts it before 2012. And I was like, ooh, we're having something from the past. It's been untouched for at least 12 years, at least before 2012. It's funny, we're dealing with the game in 2012 as well. They aren't antique, it's just it doesn't exactly make sense. Poetic license. The sacrificial dagger should be placed to the right of the desserts. So sacrifice happens after dessert? Is that the point? Or before? Or is the sacrifice the dessert itself? It's like it sounds good when you say it, but has no real meaning. Alright, a series of deaths occurred. Despite investigation, many mysteries remain. Below the surface of this town, a great deal of machinery was in motion. What? A lot of machines? Okay. Alarm clock. Okay, this is like... I really like the big emphasized lines in this art. Oh, it's like a sketch here. That's really cool. I feel like it looks like it was thrown together, and that's pretty awesome actually. Oh god, it's actually escalating. Oh my god, what the hell happened last night? I shouldn't be so goddamn tired. I slapped the snooze button, but then look at the clock's face. God damn it. It's, what, 7? 7 o'clock. I'm going to be late for school. Why is school so early? Why does it have to be so early? It should start around 10. It should go from 10 to 2. That should be the school hours. Good evening, Jasmine. Oh, Dronin, that's your attempt to be outrageous and polite. Okay, that makes sense. That's brilliant, actually. Brings hammer to destroy the clock. I have a funny clock story. Should I say it now? It's gonna be public. Oh well. When we were in university, you know, we have an ability to sleep through any kind of noise. Rifna can attest to that. So we got this gigantic radio clock that made so much noise that like would wake up the neighborhood. Okay. So we had that in our room, and one time the alarm was ringing, and we were just asleep, completely asleep, sleeping through the whole thing, until I was the house I was living at. There was an old couple there, and one of them is actually like hard of hearing. And that guy woke up and came into my room to shut off the alarm. It was that loud, and I wasn't awake. Yeah, so that happened. I had alarms that would wake up deaf people. Or hard of hearing people, at least, you know. Just partially listening. Probably woke up the neighborhood as well. But didn't wake me up. Just like the mask? Oh, like, it doesn't make sense? Sometimes it's about context, so is dessert the main dish? There should be dessert spoon on each side of the sacrifice dagger. Like before and after sacrifice. The neighborhood is awake, but she's still sleeping. Yeah. That does happen. I confirm, alarms can ring at max volume and she's... All the alarms nowadays that we use are just they're nothing compared to that thing. That thing was loud. That was really, really loud. Well, the maximum alarm we have right now is probably like 1/10 of that. I used to sleep with a building being constructed near my, like, next to my window. Like, well, all the machinery is running. I must say, I mastered a certain level of dissociation. If I can continue the story. Alright, I throw my clothes on and rush downstairs. Oh, this art is so cool. Don't swear so much, honey. It's not ladylike. Oh wow, politeness. I learned from the best. Fuck you. Her mom says fuck you. After giving a lecture on politeness. So clearly there, politeness doesn't run in the family. What's that hissing noise? Is that water from a sink? Here's their breakfast of candy corn. That sounds... Yeah, exactly. Okay. By the way, how do you pronounce that? Aoi? Aoi? Aoi. Aoi? Aoi? Aoi. I think I'll say Aoi. Aoi's already waiting. Tomo Aoi. That's Aoi. Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. My alarms wake everyone else up. I don't know how you're so fucking energetic in the morning, Aoi. Why wouldn't I be? After all, I get to see my beloved Ai-chan. I don't know how to respond when she's like this. By the way, Ai-chan, here it comes. You wouldn't maybe happen to have today's biology homework, would you? That's why she's being nice. Jesus, Aoi. Yeah, sure, you can copy it again. Your parents must be reconsidering their whole field. What are the odds of the child of two genius geneticists being such a ditz? Maybe the parents wish to be like that too. We continued to make small talk the rest of the way to school. As we entered the classroom, we saw Fujinomiya Kuroneko muttering angrily to herself, stewing over some private betrayal. Fujinomiya, what crawled up your ass and died today? Oh my god, the language in this game. She took my greeting as a serious question. My sister's playing hooky again. Koneko-chan? Okay, that went really fast. Are you an idiot? Koneko hasn't so much as been tardy once since preschool. Then Shironeko-senpai? Why is that a question? Seems even Tomo-chan is capable of using the process of elimination. Ai-chan, Fujinomiya-san is making fun of me. I patted her on the head. There. You enable her too much, Ai. Look who's talking. If you and Koneko-chan work together, you could physically carry Shironeko-senpai to school, and she wouldn't miss so much class. She's been doing nothing but eating Pocky and sitting at the computer lately. I doubt even Koneko could pick her up now. What she does on there all day is a mystery to me. Maybe she's sore about not having Golden Week off. If that's the case, she wouldn't be skipping the rest of the year too. Alright, settle down. Rise, bow, sit. The teacher took a look at the attendance sheet, muttering to herself. Fujinomiya is absent again, and Umeji... Now let's quickly review the last chapter. Let me see, we left off with the Genpai War. Genpai War? Who can tell me the name of the two eras that this conflict borders? Not me, I have no idea about this. Since nobody's volunteering, Tomo? The Nara period and the Meiji period? The teacher sighed. Sweet merciful fuck, this girl is dense. Not only do these periods not border each other, but there's a 1,000-year gap. Sit down, Tomo. Yamada? Mimi picked up a small notebook and nervously flipped through the pages. She made a surprised face and then stood up straight. The Jisho and the Jui, hence the alternate name, the Jisho-jui War. Correct, Yamada, but you should really remember this. You won't be able to consult your notebook for the test. Okay, so who were the two sides? Fujinomiya? The Minamoto and the Taira. Ganpai is an alternate reading of the two names stuck together. Correct as always. I should give you a harder one next time. If you try to stump me, you will fail. What? Never mind. Okay, Akagi, what sparked the conflict? The Minamoto and the Taira kept bitch-slapping each other over their place in the Imperial Court's hierarchy, which is stupid because having favor would just make them a target anyway. This culminated in the Hogen and Heiji rebellions, where the Minamoto tried to fuck up the Taira but fucked themselves over instead. Then the Taira made a toddler emperor, which pissed off the previous emperor's other kid, Mochihito, so Mochihito went and helped out the Minamoto. Of course, he and his Minamoto buddy got killed anyway, so what was the point? Anyway, Mochihito started building up an army, and the Taira heir, not the Rugrat, the geezer, tried to lock him up. They chased him through the Midera and finally got him on the Uji Bridge, and the other Minamoto offed himself. Not incorrect. But again, I need to remind you to watch your language in class.
She gets it right.
See me after school. The class continued. We didn't even finish covering the Ganpai War by the time the bell rang and the second period began. Second period should have been biology, but the teacher never showed up. Ooh, there's something going on with biology. There was a geneticist, parents of the other girl, and then, Instead, halfway through the period, a substitute came in and announced a self-study period. That's strange. Our bio teacher is usually pretty reliable. Indeed, the last time she missed a class was... Made me ruffle through her notebooks. February 3rd, 1974. That's... Yeah, that's like 30 years ago. Yamada-kun, how is it that you know all these things? Never mind why you even have that information. How did you look it up so fast? I have a mnemonic system. You know how a kanji dictionary is organized by radical? I have a system sort of like that in this book, but organized by shapes. I'm a visual thinker, so I associate ideas with specific symbols, and then if I forget a detail, I can look it up by shape. So I'll bet you're even better at looking up things that are already shapes, right? Yeah, I usually don't have a hard time remembering those unless they're really obscure though. Comes in handy for the school newspaper? It would if that rag did any real journalism. Ai-chan, Yamada-kun's mean what this thing is going to make you isn't going to make you fall for her, is it? She stuck out her lower lip and looked at me with puppy dog eyes, looking almost at the edge of tears. I patted her head. You're the only one for me, Aoi. She's practically vibrating. It's absurd that such a small display of affection pleases her so much. One of these days, that possessiveness is going to bite me in the ass though. Mimi got up from her seat. Listen, since lunch is next, I'm going to head to the cafeteria and grab some lunch before the morning rush. Don't worry, Ai-chan, I brought a bento for you. I can make my own lunches, you know. But then our lunches wouldn't match. I'll leave you lovebirds to your nesting. I'm going to go claim a good spot on the roof. Sure, Fujinomiya, abandon me, I'll be fine. I'm sure you will. You're not alone, Ai-chan, I'm here with you. I had lunch in the classroom with Aoi. Say, ah. I can feed myself, you know. I know, but I can feed you and that's a lot more fun. The box lunch had hot dogs shaped like octopi, little hearts made of bologna, and very few vegetables. You sure have a protein-heavy diet, don't you? My parents say that meat and fat are good for the brain. I sure hope so. Don't you ever feel like you want some vegetables or some rice? I have some. She holds up a small, limp broccoli floret, the only one in the lunchbox. There's also a dollop of rice in one corner. Girl, I don't know how you survive with such an imbalanced diet. We finished eating. I think most of Aoi's lunch ended up in my stomach. My attempts to fend off her chopsticks were in vain. I can't say I regret it though. Despite her academic shortcomings, Aoi is a damn good cook. She's building herself to be a housewife. For her. I wouldn't mind her feeding me for the rest of my life. Oh wow, it's already there. If not for what it would imply and what it would do to my arteries. The first period after lunch was English. The bell rang and the teacher came in. He was pretty young and a foreigner. His Japanese was shit, but since he was teaching an immersion-oriented English class, it wasn't too much of a problem. Good morning, class. Good morning, sensei. Please open your textbook to page 68. We'll be covering prepositions. Oh god. Sometime during English class, I dozed off and only awoke partway into math when being called upon. She slept through a whole class. Wow, okay. Akagi, if you're confident enough in your abilities that you're willing to sleep through my lessons, then please demonstrate how to solve this for the class. The problem wasn't from homework and involved topics we hadn't yet covered, but I had read ahead in the book slightly, so it looked familiar. With some difficulty, I solved it. The teacher deflated slightly. Tomo, can you explain Akagi's solution? Had to find somebody to pick on, huh? Go on, you weren't paying attention either. Ai-chan, how did you do it? Well, alright, fine, explain, Akagi. I made something about partial integration. They're doing partial what class is this? Are they in high school? Oh, they're in high school. Okay. I made something up about partial integration. It must not have been totally correct, but what I described was confused enough that the teacher somehow saw a correct answer somewhere in it. That's exactly what I used to do. Confuse people into believing that I'm right. Good, did everyone follow that? I guess that wasn't any less clear than his usual explanations, though. Apparently satisfied, he didn't pick on me for the rest of the period. While I didn't fall asleep again, I was not entirely awake. At the end of the class, a few students came over to try to get a clear explanation, and when they left, Aoi came around. Ai-chan, how did you do that? Magic. Really? I didn't know you knew magic, Ai-chan. Cast a spell on me. Make it a love spell. I don't think you need any more of that. I can always use more I love. If I cast a love spell on you, it would give you more Aoi love, not more I love. But I'm already 80% love. It's growing? Finally, the bell rang. I was about to leave until Akagi. Oh, right. It was the elder Fujinomiya's turn to clean the classroom today. Since she isn't in, I'd like you to do it. Lame. Or if you prefer, you can bring her all her missed printouts. She pointed a thick stack of printouts on the desk, which looked very heavy. Nah, cleaning the classroom sounds just fucking fine. I'll accept that answer, I guess. The classroom isn't particularly dirty. I stacked up the desk and started cleaning the floor. In the corner of the room, there's a box of glassware on loan from the science club room. The glassware can wait. I think it's been there for weeks already anyway. I look out the window. There's a solitary figure running around the track. Must be Koneko-chan. She sure works hard. I'm gonna check on something. We have... we have like 24 minutes, 20 minutes before the ad starts, so I'm gonna make sure. Yeah, I'm gonna make sure that we pause during that time. This is exhausting. Nobody's in the school and I have nowhere to go. I guess I might as well take a little nap. Oh god. Then I'll have the energy to finish up. Pull out a desk and a chair and fall asleep. Okay. Oh shit. Shit, fuck. Shit. The sun has gone down. How late is it? Better get home. Gather my things and head home. Nope. Are the streetlights malfunctioning? I don't remember the walk home ever being this dark. Ooh. Wow, this is like a sine wave music. I have a bad feeling. Suddenly, I feel a pinch and a strange pressure in my chest. I look down. Oh shit, 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 shit. A crimson stain. Vermilion droplets on the ground. The outline of a black blade poking out of the center of my chest. God damn it. I'm dying. I guess this is what dying is like. It's never much for religious conjecture. I never thought about life after death or anything like that. I figured I'd find out firsthand eventually. I didn't expect it to be this soon though. Do you want to save just before dying? Sure, why not? What? What the hell happened last night? I shouldn't be so goddamn tired. Was it all a dream? I distinctly Hey, what the fuck? Wow, I must still be why is there a voice in my head? The fuck is going on? I died and now you're dead? Remember dying and now there's a voice in my head. This is my head, fucker. Fine, whatever, your head. Who the fuck are you anyway? You first. No, you first. I'm not letting a strange ghost squat in my skull. At least, the least you can do is fucking introduce yourself. I am Akagi Ai. No, I am Akagi Ai. Try again. No, seriously, I'm Akagi Ai. I'm a junior at Yomiyama's Girls Academy. My student ID number is XXXXX. You're saying you're me? I guess. Okay then, what's my darkest secret? It would have to be that time in the pool in 6th grade when the... Okay, stop, fine, enough. I guess I believe you, okay? But I'm not dead. I think I might be you from the future. What? Weird. I remember dying and then seeing like a white light and then I woke up here. How does that make you from the future? Because you don't remember dying. I slapped the snooze button and then look at the clock's face. God damn it. 7 o'clock. I'm going to be late for school. I throw my clothes on and rush downstairs. Don't swear so much, honey. It's not ladylike. I learned from the best. Fuck you. By the way, Awie's already waiting. I don't know how you're so fucking energetic in the morning, Aoi. Why wouldn't I be? After all, I get to see my beloved Ai-chan. I don't know how to respond when she's like this. By the way, Ai-chan, here it comes. You wouldn't maybe happen to have today's biology homework, would you? Jesus, Aoi. Yeah, sure, you can copy it again. Your parents must be reconsidering their whole field. What are the odds of the child of 2 genius geneticists being such a ditz? Yeah, someone stabbed. Someone stabbed us, so we just woke up again. We continued to make small talk the rest of the way to school. As we entered the classroom, we saw Fujinomiya's Kuro Neko muttering angrily to herself, stewing over some private betrayal. Fujinomiya, what crawled up your ass and died today? She took my greeting as a serious question. My sister's playing hooky again. Koneko-chan? I bet Koneko-chan is the murderer. Because they keep showing her face every time they talk about her. Are you an idiot? Koneko hasn't so much as been tardy once since preschool. Then Shironeko-senpai? Why is that a question? It seems even Tomo-chan is capable of using the process of elimination. Ai-chan, Fujinomiya-san is making fun of me. I patted her on the head. There. You enable her too much, Ai. Look who's talking. If you and Koneko-chan worked together, you could physically carry Shiron... Oh, sorry, I missed that. Pro tip, the skip button will fast forward to the next choice or line of dialogue you haven't seen, even in a time loop. Oh, okay. Thank you for pointing that out. Also, I recognize your username, so you're the dev of this game, right? Give you a quick shout out. Yeah, thank you for... Oh, what just happened? Thank you for boosting my my posts on Mastodon. I didn't know anyone read any posts on Mastodon. It's especially since my account is pretty new. I've been trying to switch from Twitter to Mastodon and move all these stuff over to Mastodon, but it's really hard to find devs on Mastodon for some reason. Well, mostly because most of them didn't switch over to Mastodon. Well, not all of them did, at least. How are you doing? Let's do the skip thing. Where's the skip thing? Oh. Yeah, I'm seeing if there's anything... I like the history thing. So this is after the history. How is it that you know all these things? Why do you even have that information? Since lunch is next. Oh, since lunch is next, I'm going to head to the cafeteria and grab some lunch before the morning rush. Okay, so we're gonna change the timeline here a bit. Let's do that. I had to use the John. I'll be right back. Too much information. Have fun. Oh my god. Hey, sorry about Aoi. She can be a little overbearing sometimes. Mastodon is also kinda anti-finding stuff for security reasons. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, as I've been streaming all the games from this bundle from 2020 onwards, and people started leaving Twitter just last year. Well, some left before, but most people were starting to leave last year or something. And so it's like I'm past halfway, and there's like people don't put their mastodons on their itch.io profile, especially not from back then. So that's why it's harder. If people keep the same username, I usually find them. Interesting fact, Sonic was not named after mnemonic nor Pokemonic? What? Why would it be named after those? Like, okay. She can be a little overbearing sometimes. I don't need your pity just because I don't have a wonderful girlfriend to cook for me. She's not like that. Can't think of her that way. You should tell her that. I really should. At first I thought it was a bit... she has always been clingy and needy, but it's gotten worse. Went along with it initially, but I don't know what she'd do if I broke it up. I broke it to her now. It's fucked up, I know. It really is. She was always clingy. I used to be a bit more standoffish. One time when we were 4, we were playing out on, you know, that waist-high wall down the street from the school. Yeah. So we were playing there and we had a kind of stupid fight with little kids have. I started walking away and she started following me, and I yelled at her and she backed up and fell off the wall. She hit her head. She was in the hospital for a while, and when she was released, she was all confused. After that, I was afraid to push her away. I'm sorry, I'm giving you a hard time without knowing the situation. You couldn't know. I'm glad Tomo-chan has a friend like you, even if you're leading her on a bit. What do you think I should do? She needs a girlfriend, then... never mind. Yamada, you have a crush on Aoi, don't you? No? You really do. You won't tell, will you? Hey, I may swear like a sailor, but I'm not a fucking asshole. Anyway, I fully support you here. If Aoi can be part of a sickeningly cute scene that doesn't involve me for once, there'll be a load off my shoulders. Thank you, Akagi-san. Hey, we just swapped secrets, didn't we? Call me Ai. That is too much of a convenient name, isn't it? For once, yeah, Yamada, it is. Call me Mimi. Alright, Mimi. Well, I should get back to the classroom. Aoi's gonna get suspicious. Thank you for keeping her happy. Make sure to eat the hell out of your lunch, too. Will do. I just spoke to the UN Human Rights Inspector. They're about to declare that bathroom unsafe for habitation. Okay. Huh? I took a big shit is what I'm saying. Your crudeness sometimes borders on endearing, but I think you're starting to overdo it. What? All I'm saying is that I've completely evacuated my digestive tract of rotting vegetable matter. That is so specific. That is so, technical. That is so technical. Very biological. Don't worry, Ai-chan. I brought a bento for you. I can make my own lunches, you know. But then our lunches wouldn't match. I'll leave you lovebirds to your nesting. I'm going to go claim a good spot on the roof. Sure, Fujinomiya, abandon me. I'll be fine. I'm sure you will. Not alone, Ai-chan. I'm here with you. Where should I eat lunch? What? You get to pick a location now?
Changed it. Blessed.
Well, last time I was in the classroom. And Fujinomiya went to the roof. Someone went to the cafeteria. Oh, Mimi went to the cafeteria. Who's in the library? Are you allowed to eat in the library? You're allowed to eat lunch in the library? What? What kind of world is this? That's a library fact from a librarian. Libraries account for 73% of all book injuries. What about the remaining 27%? Is it like studies or bookstores? Magazine stands? Oh, I know, D&D games. Churches with the Bibles. Books get hurt a lot in libraries. Libraries are unsafe space for books. Save a book, check it out. Alright, I'm very curious about this library thing. I wanna go there. There are few students milling around in the stacks, but the library is otherwise deserted. Even the student who's supposed to be on checkout duty has skipped out. The library isn't a popular place to have lunch, probably because of the signs that say eating and drinking is prohibited, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, how would you oh. You have to break rules to do this. Snoop around in the checkout desk, find some books, look around, just eat lunch. Alright, let's start with look around. Umichi-san is in the stacks, but nobody else familiar is around. She looks upset. It would be rude to greet her since she isn't very close. There are a few students milling around in the stacks, but the library is otherwise deserted. Even the student who's supposed to be on checkout duty has skipped out. Alright, so we did a look around with the Umeji-san. Find a manga or something? Sure. Okay. The library hasn't gotten the new Golgo 13 Tankoban yet, so I reread Devilman instead. There are a few students milling around, blah blah blah. Okay. Snoop around in the checkout desk. Checkout desk is messy. The computer was left unlocked. Ooh, oh my god. Snooping around. Okay. Shironeko is the one who was who's been skipping school and spending all her time in the computer, right? Yeah, Koneko is the one we see the image of, I think. Alright, ad started. I'm gonna wait a bit. In fact, I'm gonna take a break. Alright, ad's done. We're just waiting for a bit. So Jasmine, we were just saying that because she chose to have lunch in the library, and I was like, are you even allowed to eat in the library? So she's snooping around trying to eat lunch in the library. But we're also snooping on people's records. Well, I'm curious. Let's see. The one who's been skipping school. Wonder what she's been checking out. Shironeko checked out a copy of Understanding Your 6502 Assembly Microcode and Internals 4 years ago and hasn't returned it yet. The checkout desk is messy. Okay. Let's see. Koneko-chan. Koneko-chan currently has a copy of the 4-hour body checked out. She recently returned a copy of the Philip experiment. The checkout desk is messy. The computer is left unlocked. Let's see what Aoi's been checking out. Aoi has only ever checked a book out from this library once. In freshman year, she checked out Microwave Cooking for 2 and returned it the following day. Oh god. That's the only thing she cared about. The checkout desk is messy. Okay. Kuroneko? According to the computer, she has several books currently checked out. The titles seem to be in Latin. There are a couple titles she renewed several times in the past 6 months. Rituals and Practices of Speculative Masonry.
That's so
What? By Sir Theonius Tunt. Alexander Scriabin, The Secret Histories by Piotr... I don't know how to pronounce that name. The Hellenic Revival, Rites and Practices for the Olympian Pantheon in the Modern Day by Ravin Rawanwolf. Alright. Why the fuck am I looking at library records? Okay. Just eat lunch, I guess. Jasmine says, I have to say that there is a balance between access to information, stories, etc. and preservation. Libraries should strive for both. We'll leave the untouchables to private collections. Oh, I see. Maybe not in the stacks with the books on the shelf, but yes, there can be places where food is allowed in libraries. Can now find more books by the... What? Really? We can find more books? Ah. Oh, I can find the books that we just looked up. Good idea. Find the books Kuroneko was into. Yeah. The speculative masonry thing. Yeah. The worshipful master says, I now present my right hand in token of the continuance of friendship and brotherly love, and will invest you with the password, real grip, and a word for a fellow craft. What? What does that mean? Weird. First period after lunch was English. The bell rang and the teacher... Okay, we skipped now. Skipping. Love spell. Ah. Now I get to choose. Do I clean the classroom or deliver printouts? Let's try delivering printouts, since last time we overslept and died. Got stabbed. Most plants in libraries are fake. Bugs and things can live in the dirt, so they fill the pots with wood chips. Makes sense? You know, Rifna was just saying, I have like 2 librarians in my chat. And how likely it is that you know 2 librarians. Not just 2, but they work in different countries. They're from different countries. And somehow I know them. And mm-hmm. Yeah. That's that's interesting.
People don't even know one library.
I should change my overlay to be more library-like, you know. It'll be slightly more representative of our community here. Then we can play library-themed games too, because that'd be cool. We played one, right? We played one as part of this bundle. The Last Librarian or something. That was pretty cool. Alright, let's deliver the printouts. The Fujinomiya household isn't very far away. It's about the same distance as between school and my house, but in the opposite direction. Nevertheless, the stack of printouts is heavy and carrying it is tiring. How long has she been playing hooky? We don't get much homework, so this must be several weeks' worth. I ring the bell. No answer. I ring the bell again. This time I hear some shuffling from inside. The door opens. Yeah, I'm coming. Shironeko is even more disheveled and sleep-deprived than usual. Oh, Ai-chan, what's up? I brought you your printouts. Come on in. can put them on top of the others. She's ignoring all of them. She has +1 charisma. Look, she has a +1 charisma on her chest. Hackles raised territorially? Who's the other librarian? Drona, I think we all know who the 2 librarians are. Okay, maybe not everyone, but you know who you are, the 2 librarians. Remember we were playing this game called The Last Librarian, and the dev was in chat, and he was saying that, you know, he tried to accurately represent the librarians, you know, with all the magic powers and everything. I think at least one of you were there at the time. Okay. When 2 librarians get into a fight, they engage in shushing duels. That would be very uncomfortable to be around. Dronan works in cataloging. And Jasmine found a game that's library themed. Okay, yeah, I'd like to hear about it. Special collection, circulation, and outreach. Wow, that's really cool. You both have really cool jobs. There's a pile of printouts several times larger than the one I'm carrying in the center of the floor. I brush a dead bug off the top of it and set the papers down. What have you been up to? Shironeko, distracted by her computer screen, answered vaguely. Oh, you know. A smart girl like you staying home for weeks just to play video games doesn't seem realistic. If you only knew. There are some strange things going on in this town. I know you're the curious type. How about you show me yours and I'll show you mine? Shironeko chuckled. You first. I want to make sure it's worth my while. I got nothing. You know what? Never mind. Forget I said anything. Guess I can't tell her about the ghost thing. The light level in Shirinako's bedroom has gradually changed while I wasn't paying attention. It's getting late, so I should head home. Shironeko grunts non-committally, still staring at her monitor. As I leave, I hear a burst of typing. Oh. I don't remember the walk home ever being this dark. What? This is where I suddenly... Yeah. Guess it happened again. Yeah. Save. And let's wake up again. Why is there a voice in my head? This is going to be hard to explain. I'm going crazy, aren't I? Look, shut the fuck up a minute. You want me to shut up? It's my fucking head. Shut up and listen. Oh look, I'm you. It's a long story, but I'm not. I'm you from the future. I'm listening. I keep dying, and whenever I die, I end up back here, now as a voice in my past self's head. Okay? I guess that isn't any less acceptable than the alternative. Okay, you're gonna have to trust me and take my advice if you want to eventually not die. You lost me there. I'm supposed to obey a voice in my head? If you're me, then you know exactly how unimpressed I am by that suggestion. I'll do what I can to explain the situation, but if you don't trust me, at least a little while, we'll be stuck in this loop forever. Okay, for now I'll accept your story, but if you start telling me to do anything crazy, I slap the snooze button and then look at the clock's face. God damn it, 7 o'clock. Okay, we're gonna skip ahead to the first choice. Yeah, that librarian was using a sword. Special collections. A sword can be necessary. Yeah. A sword can be mightier than paper cuts. Maybe. How are you gonna get back late returns without a sword? Oh, did you know that in West Coast Canada they have removed late library fines as of this year? We can do the follow her thing. And then, let's see. Let's do the cafeteria. Cafeteria is crowded and smells strongly of spices and overcooked meat. A swarm of people circles the stuffed bread vendor. They will have sold out by this point, like they do every day. People who have decided to purchase less popular meals are milling around with trays or sitting at tables. I don't see anybody I know. Find a quiet corner and dig into my bento. Eating a packed bento in a cafeteria is underrated. Most of the stress in cafeteria dining comes from trying to buy food, after all. I guess it's different for the terminally popular, but after my tragic high school debut debacle, I don't have to worry about that. Who would have thought Geta and newsboy caps would ever go out of style. I wasn't just mocked, but written up for dress code violation too. That might have been the open jacket and chest wrappings though. Oh well, one does not care to acknowledge the mistakes of one's youth. It doesn't matter right now. It's let's do the clean. See if anything different. Oh, what? In the corner of the room, there's a box of glassware on loan from the science club room. I don't remember this one. Ignore the box or return the box. Let's return the box. The game is called... The pines weren't as effective as the swords. The game is called The Bookwalker Thief of Tales. Huh, cool. I'm gonna make a note of that. Roofs are responsible for 73% of all library injuries. That doesn't add up, Dronan. You said libraries are... okay. No, I get it. Okay, no, I get it. Libraries are responsible for 73% of all book-related injuries, and roofs are responsible 73% of all library injuries. Okay. Subsets. We're dealing with subsets. Return the box. A box of glassware is heavier than it looks. No wonder nobody moved it before. Do it anyway. I walk down the hallway towards the science club room. I hear music from across the hall. Investigate. Placed the box by the door to the science club room and went across the hall. The music room was large. with carpeted walls and a stadium-style step arrangement in the floor. In the center, playing a violin and looking irritated, was Kuroneko. Ah. Having trouble? Kuroneko jumped. The fingering is hard on this piece. That's what she said. If you're done, don't worry, I'm not just here to fuck with you. I'm all wiped out from lugging heavy boxes and I happen to hear some pretty music. Oh yeah? Yeah, and I figured I could rest my bones a while here. They say the key to happiness is wine, women, and song. 2 out of 3 ain't bad, right? Just don't interrupt, okay? Fine. I'm getting nowhere with this. What is it exactly that you're trying to do? The score is just really weird. It's the same 6 notes over and over in different combinations. Ooh. Oh. You see the symbol we were looking at? It had 6 notes on it. Maybe there's a code. Maybe there's a code somewhere. Okay, I get very like... When there's a mystery, I get very like suspicious of everything. I see symbols and signs everywhere. This isn't one of them. Bookshelf on roofs often find themselves toppling over because of strong winds, emptying their contents down on unwise people down below. I think the most unwise person is the one who put them on the roof. What's so weird about that? Wants me to play combinations of notes that normally would be done on 2 different instruments. In order to play both notes at the same time on the same instrument, I have to hold my fingers like... In order to play, like here, you see what I'm doing with my hand? Her fingers are held in a kind of a claw shape and her wrist was at an awkward angle. Some fingers are pressing on multiple strings simultaneously at different angles. I have to go from that to another equally complicated chord in the space of 1 beat. This whole piece is like that. Why don't you play something else or get a second violinist? You know those weirdos out in the building with the green roof? The octagonal building out behind the convenience store? Yeah, they gave me this. And? They offered me a lot of money to play at a concert they have coming up. But I have to play this piece. And they said it has to be exactly as notated. When is the concert? The 1st. May 1st? That's why I'm in here practicing after dark. Do those fuckers know what they're asking of you? The money is very good. So, Scriabin and some other names I've dropped is a real guy and some of the weird stuff in the game about him is true. The notes are a real thing. Oh, what? Damn. Basically, lots of stuff in this game is Googleable if you want rabbit holes. Damn, that sounds dangerous. That sounds very dangerous for me. Yeah, one of my favorite game series is the Remedyverse, and that's full of these, questioning reality. Is this actually real or is it fantasy? That kind of thing, and all these references and rabbit holes, and it's really, really dangerous. I can get obsessed with them. The notes section in the menu has a whole list of starting... Seriously? Seriously? Oh my god. Oh my god. So the note section in the middle of the main menu is actually more menu? Oh my god. Okay. This was supposed to be a short game or something. It doesn't feel like a short game. It just has like the same game with like 6 layers at least. Damn. That's amazing. No, that's not how it works. I don't scream when I fall into a rabbit hole. Very, very quiet to not scare the rabbits away. I was suspicious, but they told me it wasn't for an orgy or anything. What? What? Why would you think that? Okay, this is just... Okay, that's funny. Maybe it's a slow fall like Alice in Wonderland and she can find empty marmalade jar on the... Yeah, so disappointing. Empty marmalade jars? I mean, not that I'm a big fan of marmalade, but I prefer full marmalade jars than the empty ones. Thank God, I don't think I could bear living in a town with that kind of eyes wide shut shit going on, okay? Wait, did you say it was after dark? Shit, I need to get home. My mom's gonna fucking kill me. Thanks for the set, Fujinomiya, I got a jet. Sure, just leave me here to stew in my failure. Later. They seem to have a thing where like, thanks for leaving me here. Thanks for abandoning me. Like they say that to each other. Interesting. Alright. 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 Are the street lights malfunctioning? I don't know. Okay. What? This is where I send... okay. You should like say that a bit earlier instead of like on that scene. Oh, we're saving again? Interesting. Okay, that dialogue didn't really change. No, 7 o'clock is when it starts. Wait, oh. No, we did. I skipped through. So we entered the classroom. We saw Fujinomiya Kuroneko muttering angrily to herself, stewing over some private betrayal. That deadline must be eating away at her. What deadline? Those guys that own the Anthroposophy Lodge behind the convenience store are paying her to play tomorrow night. And she's not ready? Not even remotely. That's not like her. They must have suggested at a short notice. I don't think she'd take an offer like that if she wasn't really hurting for money though. Fujinomiya, what crawled up your ass and died today? She took my greeting as a serious question. Okay. All same? Okay. Now... we did the roof. Did we do the roof? No, we did the cafeteria, we did the classroom, we did the library. We didn't do the roof yet. Let's do the roof. It's cold up here. The wind has knives and intent to kill. He likes to do things herself, like empty food jars. Well, I like to eat stuff, yes. You don't have to save every time, it just prompts you on every death or achievement. Okay, so there was an achievement after the music thing. That's why the dialogues changes in the next iteration. Or maybe the intent to kill is Kuroneko. She's leaning against the railing, glaring down into the distance. The wind keeps picking up her hair and throwing it in her face. Be a really nice day if we were ice fishing, but hanging out on the roof in this weather is just fucking unpleasant. What? Did you have a marital spat? Oh. We're taking a line from the book she borrowed. That showed us as an option. Huh. Interesting. Let's do that. Veronica's expression suddenly changed, becoming serious and almost even respectful. She offered me her hand and we performed a strange handshake. Jesus, I guess I have to pretend to be her superior now? I have graduated you to the status of fellow craft for a reason. Come on, think of a reason. I have an important task for you, but first, I need to test you. Who is the master who makes the grass green? Test fail. I hereby revoke your fellow craft status. I hurry away before Koneko can ask me any questions. Okay. We need to investigate books more. Clean the classroom. Return the box. Leave it for somebody else. Koneko-chan. Go see Koneko-chan. Let's do that. By the time I made it down the track, Koneko was winding down. She caught my eye and waved, and then ran over. Ai senpai, good evening. You don't need to be so formal. Understood. You sure are training hard. I was up in the classroom on cleaning duty and saw you running out here all alone. I see. Why isn't the rest of the team training with you? They train in the mornings. Why don't you train with them? I had the impression Koneko was an early riser, unlike her elder sister. I have scheduling conflicts. What kind of person schedules appointments before 7 a.m.? You'll excuse me, Koneko starts to brush past me. But suddenly doubles over in pain. What? What just happened? What? Koneko-chan, are you okay? It's just cramps. She was holding her stomach with one hand and her head with the other. Are you sure you're alright? I reached for her hand to help her up. I could get you to the... As soon as I touched her hand, she let out a yelp and pulled it back. Felt a weird trickle down my spine. You. There are two people in your head? Ooh, what? Oh. Okay, this is awesome. How do you... What's... She slumped to the ground. I checked to make sure she was breathing. She had passed out. Carried her to the nurse's office and laid her out on a bed. A few minutes later, she woke up. Listen, Koneko-chan, Senpai, I need to go. If you can, I'm late for an appointment. Before I could say anything, she left. Oh, that's just... That... Okay, this is spectacular. What is going on? I don't know. I can save multiple times, not a big deal. People are only supposed to die once, you know? I guess it happened again. Oh, come on. I went back accidentally. Something very weird is going on with Koneko-chan. Weirder than a ghost in her head? Maybe. What could be weirder than that? She knew about the ghost in my head. In a previous iteration? Yeah, and she was in a lot of pain too. We're going to find a way to help her, right? I think we should. Ghosts and telepaths in the same town can't possibly be a coincidence. Helping her might also help us not get shanked. Do we have any leads? She said something about an appointment before school, so we could catch her as she was leaving it. Yeah, let's go look for her. Could you spot me for a bit? Sure, anything for you. What are you planning? Nothing suspicious, just forgot something in my locker. When the teacher comes in, tell her I'm in the bathroom. I'll leave my bag here. I don't buy it, but whatever. Sure, I'll lie for you. I'd lie for you anytime, Ai-chan. I'd lie for you anytime, Ai-chan. Fujinomiya-san says she'd lie for you, but don't let that tempt you. Oh my god. If you need a really big lie or a really dangerous lie, leave it to me. She can't lie well enough to steal you away from me. I'm sure she can't. Down, girl. Thanks, I'll be right back. Almost past the teacher, heading towards the stairs, but I hid around the corner of the stairwell until she passed. I've never seen her get dropped off, and the front entrance is visible from the classroom window, so she must be getting dropped off in the rear. That would explain how she's never late. Freshmen are on the first floor and loading dock entrance is in the back. It's by the end of the hall right near her classroom. I head to the loading dock and hide behind a trash can. A black van pulls up. It has a symbol on the door. Look at this symbol. That's a very, very distinct symbol. Upside down triangles are always suspicious. Always. There's nothing normal ever about upside down triangles. A man in black uniform gets out of the passenger side, opens up the back, and helps Koneko out. She's stumbling and holding her head. He walks her to the door. As he passes, I see that he has the same symbol on the van on his left shoulder. He pushes Koneko through the door and then returns to the van. Drives off. Once it's out of sight, I get up, preparing to head back to class. Feel a hand grab my arm. Turn. It's another man in the same dark uniform with the same symbol on the shoulder. MIB, Men in Black. Seen anything interesting? You were just hanging out behind a trash can during class? I couldn't think of a better excuse. We have a zero tolerance policy for suspicious behavior. I'm sorry to say you're going to have to come with us. He didn't look sorry. Sorry, but you're going to have to wear this. He held up a black cloth bag. Still didn't look sorry. Before I had a chance to say anything, he shoved my head into it roughly, then grabbed my other arm and quickly zip-tied my wrist together. I was dragged some distance, lifted slightly off the ground, and laid face down on what felt like carpeting. Then I was rolled to my side and my legs were pushed in. I heard a door slam, another, and then felt the van begin to move. After a little while, I felt the van make a sharp turn and then head down a steep hill. The terrain then evened out but became bumpy. It's hard to get a clear sense of time when your senses are cut off, but it felt like 20 or 30 minutes before the van once again stopped. I felt a gust of air as the door was open and somebody grabbed me. My feet dragged over some gravel and then a smoother surface. Then they went over a small bump and the bottom edge of the doorway, and then another one. I was placed sitting down in a folding chair. My mask was removed. Okay, start talking. I was still disoriented from the experience of being suddenly blindfolded and restrained. Today. Who sent you? I took a moment to gather myself. Nobody sent me. Nobody sent you? You're saying you're just hanging out behind that? My friend was hurting. Something was making her hurt, and she was acting strange. So I decided to see what it was she was doing in the mornings. This friend of yours is... He read something off a clipboard. Fujinomiya? Am I pronouncing that right? Yes, Fujinomiya motherfucking Koneko, okay? You know her? She's on the list. What list? He shot me a glare. I'm asking the questions. You're giving the answers. Are we clear on our roles? This guy is really getting on my nerves. Clear as fucking crystal. I'll forgive the attitude if you tell me what I need to know. Name? Akagi Ai. How do you spell it? Aka as in red, Gi as in garment, I as in true fucking love. Okay. Looks like he's having trouble with the kanji. Is he even Japanese? I didn't notice an accent, so maybe he's just illiterate. And what are you doing spying from behind the trash can? I already told you I was worried about Oh yes, that. Oh yes, that. Fu Fuichi na de moyo fellow. Uji no Miya. I don't think it's kosher to use fellow to refer to a teenage girl. This guy can't be a native speaker. She was acting weirdly. The man looked surprised, as though I hadn't told him all this less than 5 minutes ago. Acting strange? When? Yesterday. What the hell am I doing? I can't tell this guy I saw her acting strange later today. Get it together, Akagi-ai. The situation's strange, but that's all the more reason that thinking straight is fucking important. The man didn't seem to notice my mistake. When did you see her acting strangely yesterday? It's hard to remember anything that happened yesterday. I've lived through today 4 times now. Shit, if this keeps up, I won't be able to remember anything that didn't happen today. The man clears his throat. When did you see her? The man cleared his throat again. He began coughing. After an extended bout of coughing, he put his clipboard down, got up and went across the room. Got a look at his clipboard. His writing was chicken scratch, not just messy, but borderline unreadable. He'd be thrown out of 2nd grade for that hiragana. The kanji was not wrong per se, but the strokes were out of order, even on simple characters. He rattled around in a cabinet across the room for a little while, took out a pill bottle, filled a glass with water from the fountain in the corner, and took several pills. He then put the pill bottle and glass down on the fountain, locked the cabinet, and came back to the table. Name? I just told you my name. He looked down at the clipboard and then looked surprised. So you did. Peered closely at the clipboard. You said you saw Fushigi Namaya. Fujinomiya. Yeah, Fushigi Namayo. Say Fushigi no Muru acting strange yesterday. Could you describe the... He stopped for a moment, looked blankly into space. Started to get up, then sat back down. Started to get up again and stopped in the middle. Excuse me for a moment. He got up, opened the door, and left. I don't know how long I was waiting for him to return. Began examining scratches in the table in front of me. There were a lot of them. The ceiling was the kind with big flat tiles with recessed fluorescent lights. The tiles had little holes in them. I counted the holes for a while. When I lost count of the holes for the umpteenth time, I looked around for something else to do. I wondered why my wrists hurt, and then I remembered the zip tie. My gaze wandered to the other side of the room. The pill bottle was open, partially filled, and sitting on the fountain. The glass was also sitting on the fountain, partway off the edge. The cabinet door was open, and the key was still in the lock. It was attached to a key ring. I was considering going over to look in the cabinet when the lights went out. I heard a series of popping sounds, followed by a scream and several loud bangs. Then I heard a sliding sound like somebody slowly rubbing sandpaper along the outside of a metal pipe. I heard 2 banging sounds. The second one coincided with the dent appearing in the door. The door slowly creaked open. I got up and went to look outside. Yeah, but okay, okay. The lights were all out in the corridor except for one, which was flickering. The primary illumination was the dim glow of some kind of circular thing. The thing was swirling, and so was the light coming from it. It illuminated bloodstains in the dented walls and crumpled bodies in black uniforms. I was about to step back inside the interrogation room when I felt someone grab my ankle. I looked down expecting to see the black uniformed man from before, but instead, there were a bunch of thin, rubbery strands about the width of a pencil. I bent down and touched them. They were covered in a sticky, mucousy substance and smelled overpoweringly rank, like week-old roadkill. The mucus made webs between my fingers. Suddenly, I was lifted off my feet, upside down. I saw a wall coming towards me too fast. God damn it. What kind of stupid-ass Shunibyo bullshit is this? People are only supposed to die once, you know? Alright. This is like... What the hell is going... What therapy? We're not in therapy. Can we do that again? Maybe? I vaguely remember all of this happening before, but felt like a half-remembered dream. All my memories of this place feel foggy, as though I was drugged. Maybe I should try to focus. Why? Why should I focus? Why should I focus? Why should I focus? Should I focus? Yeah. So my head's full of cotton. I remember that something bad had already happened to me here. I stayed in this room for a long time, distracted and bored, and by the time I left, something like that happened. I need to get out of here. I get up, momentarily surprised that my legs are not tied together. I had forgotten that. My gait is slightly wobbly from sitting for so long, or maybe from something else. It's hard to remember how long I've been sitting. Try to grab onto the table for support and feel a sharp pain. Forgotten that my hands are zip-tied together. Look around the room for something to cut the zip tie with. Notice there's a glass sitting on the water fountain. I go over to the fountain and knock the glass to the floor. It shatters and the sound breaks my concentration. Alright, I was going to cut the zip tie with that glass. I awkwardly crouch with my back to the broken glass and feel around with my fingertips. The tip of one finger gets cut and I pick up that shard carefully. I saw away at the zip tie with the shard of broken glass until it breaks apart and walk over to the door. It's open. There's none of the horror outside that I remembered. Instead, the corridor is eerily quiet. The sign says Central Dogma to the right, 18 to 23 to the right, and Terminal to the left. For a moment I noticed that it's not as empty as it seems. Instead, about a dozen uniformed personnel are actually standing in the corridor silently. They're all facing the same direction, down the right side, where I remember some kind of portal being. Their eyes are open but unfocused, their bodies sway slightly. I carefully walk around them, but my fear that any loud sounds or sudden movements would wake them from their reverie is unfounded. As I leave the building, I begin to hear murmuring. Pick up the pace, power walking across the gravel lot. As I do, the murmuring gets louder. I can pick out words. Fullesi? Okay. Fulfill the prophecy, okay. Fulfill prophecy, fulfill the prophecy. They were almost screaming now, reaching a crescendo as I neared the peak of the hill. I was already jogging at the hill's peak. It intersected with the major road. There was a sign. Wait, Yomiyama Industries, that's the same name as the high school. Okay, so Yomiyama Industrial Products Inc. I looked around desperately for a passing car to hail, but at this time of day, even a major road is deserted in a backwater town like this. I heard a cracking sound behind me, followed by some pops. Felt a crack inside my head, and I found myself face down in the roadside gravel. Touched the back of my head, and it felt wet and soft. A piece of something hard, maybe rock, was jutting out from the back of my skull. Okay. Died again. So, the thing with her is not happening anymore. Like what happens near the, oops. Huh. That choice isn't there anymore. Does that mean that we found out everything we can from there? You finished that part of the arc, but it'll open up other stuff because you have clues. Yeah. So Yomiyama is the name of the town. That makes sense. Alright. Let's do that. And let's do the library again. There might be information there. Alright, let's snoop around a bit. The Philip experiment. Okay, we're gonna figure out what that is. Okay. Let's find some books. Okay, we looked at the speculative masonry last time. What about the Scriabin one? Scriabin's obsession with the occult is most famously associated with his final piece, which he intended to be played during the apocalypse, but the Prometheus chord has its own numerological significance. Prometheus chord, huh? Is that related to the chord that she was playing? Prometheus is a reference to the to that ancient story about the human stealing fire from the gods. Alright. Well, at least we have one more there. Let's do Delaware printouts. Let's see what happens here. Strange thing going on. Ah, we got options. Ask her about the symbol on the van. Ask her about the Yomiyama Industrial Products Inc. Let's ask about the symbol on the van. I drew the symbol from the side of the van on a napkin and showed it to her. Nope, sorry, not really good with things that aren't... Wait, I know who would be able to tell. That Mimi is into symbols, like shapes. She uses shapes as a reference thing. She might know what to... Ooh. Okay. Well, there are some suspicious guys driving around with that symbol in their van. I guess there must be two groups of suspicious guys in this town then. The ones I know about don't use a symbol like that. Oh yeah? Snooping around in ambient traffic one day? You can do that? You can do that if you root the ISP. I recognize some of those words in isolation. Anyway, I saw some really heavy traffic that seemed to be using an unusual encryption method. It was going between a residential address way out in Hokkaido and some mill address. Mill address? The US military has its own top-level domain, so when I say mill address, I don't mean JSSDF. There are public FTP sites on mill addresses, so it's not so strange to see somebody occasionally download things from them. But it's also using weird encryption set me off, plus the IP looked familiar. When I realized that the reason the IP looked familiar was that it was part of a VPN I set up for my IRC buddies. Tracked down who was using it and found out he was from some wild goose chase involving disclosure. He was on some wild goose chase involving disclosure. He had a bug up his ass about aliens. Americans are weird like that sometimes. Anyway, I wouldn't normally bother, but this thing was locked down tight, so I decided to make a little wager with him. What were the terms? He was always hitting on me, so I said if he got in first, I'd show him my tits. If I got in first, he'd give me his stash of cracked passwords. Who do you think you are, Fujikumine? I won, obviously, but damn it, that nutjob was right. The machine belonged to a US military base right here in Yama, set up in the 50s, and for whatever reason, they had decided to store all their weird-ass UFO-related research on machines in Japan. He wasn't pleased after I leaked him the documents, too weird for his blood. The UFO nut thought these documents are too weird? He wanted thin little grays on TV, like these guys are short, stocky, hairy, and blue. What? You wanted thin little grays like on TV? These guys are short, stocky, hairy, and blue. Okay, so actual pictures of aliens that are hairy and blue. We haven't seen anything hairy and blue so far. He wanted silver saucers, not space trees. Space trees? Okay. Yeah, genetically engineered probably. Solar sails, leaves solar sail. Super dense neutronium-filled nodules in the wood that bend space and provide gravity. Okay. The memos figured they could probably get pretty close to light speed, but they had slowed down a whole lot by the time they hit Siberia. The gravity distortions protected them a little, and they got buried under the permafrost. Some surveillance balloons saw the Soviets excavating something weird out there, and so the Americans made sure one of their moles was involved in digging the thing up, reporting everything back. Then in '91, some remaining assets managed to transport a couple bits and pieces back to the US. Some frozen corpses, a bit of wood, a bit of leaf. Yeah, let's save, sure. The light level in okay. Oh, okay, so that was just one option. Fuck, 6 times? Really? People are only supposed to die once, you know? Okay, we're gonna have an ad in 5 minutes. So I've been playing this for over an hour already. Oh, 2 hours actually. I'm gonna stop soon. Let's see if I can ask her about the symbol or something. I guess not here. It did hook me. This is amazing. This is amazing. This story is fantastic. Okay. Let's see if anything happens here. No. Well, we can deliver printouts and ask about the other stuff. The industrial products. There's a local company called Yama Industrial Products. Sounds boring, right? Extremely. A reason to believe they're not what they seem. Chironeko leaned in slightly. Oh really? I suspect they're a front for some kind of military research involving Psi. Can you get in? Can I? Who do you think you're asking? Sit back and observe. She begins to typing a series of intermittent quick spurts. I'm unsure if the delays are because she's thinking or because she's waiting for some process to finish. Never seen her have delays this long, so the security must be something. After nearly an hour, she pauses and takes a drink from a nearby open can. 15 minutes, she freezes up, sighs, and leans back. Ai-chan, my dear, what have you gotten yourself mixed up in? No, forget I asked. I don't want to know how you know about this place. It seems to be funded directly by the Diet, bypassing normal JSSDF chain of command. You know how rare that is? Constitutional crisis rare? Exactly. If the existence of this place got out, never mind what it was doing, we'd have a lot of big wigs coming here asking awkward questions. Seppuku might come back into vogue among politicians if this was leaked. As for what they're using all that illegal secrecy for, psi research? Hard fucking core psi research. I was taken aback. Usually I'm the only one who swears. So this hard fucking core psi research, what is going on exactly? Shiranoko turned back to her screen, evidently referencing a document there. They take volunteers our age and put them through a battery of psi tests. Zener cards, scans, field, etc. Those that do poorly are sent on their way with hush money. Those that do well are brought back and are placed in a twice daily training regimen. They have their telepathic, clairvoyant, and precognitive abilities tested with immediate feedback for hour-long sessions twice a day. This works sort of like that language learning software. If you have any ability at all, you'll get better and better at accessing it. They're given drugs slowly titrated onto them over months. Mixture of microdose LSD to open up the mind, benzos to create a positive association with the regimen and relax any resistance to suggestion, and sodium pentothal to enhance suggestibility. This is a daily regimen, so even though the doses are pretty low, addiction to the benzos eventually does set in, a method for keeping volunteers coming back. From the data they have recorded, it looks like they're having some success. They're building on some of the weirder areas of the CIS project Stargate, specifically telepathically contacting aliens from other dimensions and asking them to look into the future or past. Okay, but it looks like the burnout rate for volunteers who graduate to that level is pretty high. They've been doing this for 20 years. All but one of their volunteers has lasted less than 6 months as a contact point for the aliens. They start having chronic migraines and eventually graduate to strokes. Sometimes they also develop intractable epilepsy. This is weird stuff. It doesn't sit well with me in light of something else I recently uncovered. So snooping around in ambient traffic one day. Oh. Okay, it's the same thing. Alright. We're about to have an ad, so I think we're gonna stop around now. Yeah, I love it. This is awesome. This is fantastic. Can't snooze the ad, and right now it's already too late. Okay, so I'm gonna pause for a bit as the ads are running, and we're gonna talk about this a little bit before we switch games. Wow, I've been playing this for 2 hours. I can't believe it. I mean, I can believe it because it is really awesome, but I'm surprised. I tend to get sucked into things sometimes. Okay, we're back from the ads. And yeah, this game was fantastic so far. I'm just so curious about everything. So the description says, Manna for our Malices. Akagi Ai is unexpectedly stabbed on her way home from school. She finds her spirit possessing her body from earlier that day and must collaborate with the past self that inhabits her body to discover why she keeps dying and why she keeps coming back. Along the way, she becomes entangled with mysterious goings-on that have entrapped her friends. Yeah, the description is very mild, based on like doesn't elaborate on how amazing what like. I'm just so curious, and it's only $1 US, but it's definitely worth more. This is amazing. I'm gonna come back and try to figure this out later. Not as part of this showcase, but another time. Right now we're going to switch to our next game. So this was game number 727, Manna for our Malice by enkiv2. You can get it at enkiv2.h.io. And thank you, enkiv2, for joining us in chat and talking about your game. That was really nice, and always love hearing from the devs.